Welcome, Wanderers, to Told You Wood Colors. Today I'm so excited to share with you my completed coloring pages from December of 2024. But before I dive into my completed pages for the month of December, I sincerely need to give a huge thank you to everyone who has given me such big welcomes and positive feedbacks on my introduction to diving into this world. It was almost overwhelming to see everyone watching and following along and supporting. This community has already shown how wonderful it is, and it makes me even more excited to get into this, and I didn't think that was possible. So thank you so much for all the welcomes and even the extremely constructive criticisms that you had. I am just starting out and I have a lot to learn. So anything that you have to mention, teach me, or just put a bug in my ear about something, totally fine. Please reach out to me. Whatever's on your mind from what you see, let me know. I did also have somebody reach out to me already to do a buddy color with them, and that is exciting as well, to be coloring with someone. So that's open to anyone. If you see a book that you also have that I have, do not hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to do buddy colors, not too many at once. I have a very limited schedule to color, but right now I just have the one, and I'm extremely excited to get into that. So yeah, the beginning of this journey has already been absolutely incredible. So I definitely needed to say thank you. Thank you so much for welcoming me. I'm extremely happy to be here, and I'm extremely excited to see where this goes. So with that being said, I'm going to dive into the colorings that I did for the month of December. This top little sketchbook here, it was so funny because in my first introduction video I did show that I got the Shuttle Art metallic marker pens, and I did say I'm probably a really bad person to give reviews because I mostly like everything, and the pens are very good. I do like them. They color very well for me. It's the it's the packaging. So it's just a box, and these pens do not sit still in there. So they're kind of just tossed in, and they don't have any sort of name on them as to what color they are or any number on them. So I will definitely have to do a color swatch sheet for that and possibly get a new organizer for them. So with the markers, I guess I forgot that it did come with a little book, and as soon as I get something, I need to dive right on into it because I'm so excited. So I had to test it out right away. So I did fill in the first little square. Lots of tester squares there, but I was like, you know what, let me use one of the pictures to test. So I did this out, and I really did enjoy coloring with them. They're very nice. I don't think I would use them on a large surface for anything. My main reason for getting the metallic markers was to do little accents like above the owl's eyes, or I don't know, like the little accents here and there, like on the toes. I would use the metallics, but probably not for an entire page like this or for larger surfaces. I do have somewhere some metallic watercolor paints, so that's something that I would use for that. So I did. I was thoroughly pleased with how they worked out, how they look with each other. I like them a lot. And the main reason for me getting the markers was to have a bigger selection of colors, and that I certainly do have. Now I'm trying to find the other page that I did again with the markers. Let's see, I had to get little tabbies. Here, this is probably better. Here we go. I guess this would be considered a work in progress because I want to do something with the background. And I did do my first background. I'm very proud of myself for doing it, but I need work. I do need work, so we'll get to that later. But yeah, so just more playing around with the markers, seeing what they could do. All the blues in the set pretty much are in the water, and then I wanted the dolphin to be like a pinky purple. So yeah, they were really fun to play around with. And there was one other picture in here. As soon as I saw the picture, I was like, oh, I know exactly what I want that to look like in the background. So that's funny. But the background was already drawn out. So this is more of all the greens. Isn't that cool? I love the way that looks. All those colors together. It's really stunning. It almost makes it look like it could be a finished page just like that. But I won't leave it like that. I still have to work on it. So that's another work in progress. But I loved the way these markers all worked out together, and I was having so much fun with it. And I love that shine. So yeah, very pleased with the Shuttle Art 30 count metallic marker pens. And you get a little sketchbook with it. It is pretty cute. The designs and patterns you get. Some of them are like the finer line art on the sketchbook I wouldn't use the markers with. I thought this was going to be something that I could just use the markers with all the way through until I saw the more detailed pages. Even like this one. I was like, okay, no, I'm not going to use the markers on that. But yeah, it was cute. So you even get a sketchbook with it. The other books that I colored out of were these two for the Ohuhu alcoholic markers. Those did come in for me, and I had fun practicing. I'll go through this book first. It's so satisfying to just color with the markers. I do have to work on blending and shadowing and detailing and all the things, but this was more just practice of using the markers. So I had fun. I had so much fun with it. It's very, very, very satisfying to color with. Let me see. I am working on my lighting. I'm working on a lot of things. So just bear with me. I will get there eventually. The stand that my phone is on now, it's supposed to come with a ring light, but the ring light that came with my stand came broken, so I'm waiting for the ring light to come in. So hopefully that will make things a little bit easier. But yeah, so I did this little mailbox, and I actually tried out using the blender marker, the colorless blender marker on the garland here going around the mailbox pole. So I thought that was, because it didn't turn out the way that I wanted to with the gold color and the brown color that I chose. I think what I did wrong was putting the darker color down while the lighter color was still wet, so it blended too much, and I wanted to get that wispy garland look to it. So it blended too much. So when I put the colorless blender on it, it kind of created that splotchy look and effect, and I liked that a lot more. So I'm trying to put it to where it's not in a shadow. But yeah, so it was just really fun to, oh, I think I have one more, to work with these markers. There we go. Bubblegum candy canes. Because I thought the traditional red and white would just look a little boring on the large scale, so I went with bubblegum. So yeah, I could work on shading, like putting a shadow down here at the bottom. I could have put a pattern on the bow or a shadow behind the bow. I did put some highlights, so I'm doing some extras, but I definitely do have to work that out. So I'm just playing around with it for now, getting used to laying down the marker and not leaving any seams behind. And I think that part's easy enough. So now I need to I need to stop having too much fun and get down to business. This one here, it is very fun to color in, but I do know and recognize that it's not done by a real artist. So the satisfaction of completing it isn't there completely because of it being an AI generated coloring book, but it's still something fun to color. So I am using this book mainly as my tester page for the alcoholic markers. I want to practice putting colored pencil over top to add more detail, so I might be coming back through possibly to do that. Here's Mrs. Claus. They put a whole kitchen scene behind her. Let's give her a nice kitchen to work in to bake these cookies. But it was really fun to work with the markers. They're definitely super satisfying. Here's my little elf that I did. He was so fun to do. All the greens that came in the set. And the set that I'm working with, the Ohuhu markers, is a brush tip and a fine tip, and it was the 216 count markers is what I have, and they're so fun. I think it's a good amount of markers. Here's my angel, and I put some of the metallic markers on her, some in the detailing of her the skirt of her dress here, and the stars and her halo up at the top. So yeah, just something really fun to flip through. What was it? Was it on Christmas Day? Some of them were done on Christmas Day, some of them a little bit after. But I just had so much fun with it. And I need to work on blending. I looked at her hair and I was like, well, I'm just going to put the lighter colors down and then I'll put the darker colors around it. I need to work out how fast you need to be when blending the markers so that it flows easier. I have a couple of them that were okay. Here's my happy snowflake. That one was fun to do. I liked adding the purple to the page because first I colored the snowflake and then I was like, it definitely needs more. So I added the purple, and these are just alcoholic markers. Here I added some fine liners to the scarf to give it more of a detail for the snowman. He has to be my favorite. I'm trying to keep my head out of the way so you can see. He had to end up being my favorite one to do. He turned out really cute. I like the way I was nervous to do the shadow in the scarf because I didn't want to ruin it. But it came out so well. I was like, excellent. So, yeah. So he was super fun to do. And then my background page, my first background, it was okay. See, I was practicing blending then into the bluey purple into a purpley purple into a pink. The light pastel purple here and the pink blended very well together. And I did it the same exact way. I blended this deeper bluey purple into this light pastel purple. So I did it the same way, but I think because these two are closer in color and shading, it turned out to be more of a seamless blend than this one here. But that's okay. I'm not too upset. it turned out pretty good, I think. I drew in the little igloo in the background and colored that in. And I did use the metallic markers on the presents, and I did a fine liner pen on this ribbon here to give it like a stitching look. So yeah, it was just the sleigh that was on the picture, and I was like, okay, I think this one's needing a background for sure. So, and I did start to try to record this one too, actually, and then my phone died, so I have to get used to that too. Here's a reindeer. This one is one of the ones that I want to add the Prismacolors to see how it would look to add even more detail to the deer. Maybe make it look like the fur. So maybe this one is a work in progress, and maybe we'll give him a background too. I don't know. So this one I was very happy with, actually. I guess it was just my color choice that I did for the list. Nobody made it on the naughty list this year, so the naughty list is blank. Good job, everyone. But I was really happy with all the colors that I chose for the list, so it turned out really nice there. And then I did want to practice the dotting effect. So I wanted this to look like garland almost. With the AI generated pictures, you get some pretty funky looking things in really weird places. Like you have these candy canes here, and then it was just a random stick. Almost looking like it should be a pen maybe to write on the naughty list, but it had the lines like the candy canes did. So I was like, okay, you just kind of had to go with it. So unfortunately, one of the first books I picked was an AI book, but I know better for next time now, I guess. So after doing this effect here for the garland up at the top, I wanted to try that out on a larger scale. So I did this, and I think maybe it's just too busy because there's already so much happening on the page already. So it probably wasn't the best page to pick for that effect, but I still like the way that I got it to look. I probably just didn't pick the right page to do it on. So again, not a lot of extra details that I did on it, but that effect was something different and new for me to do. Then I have this stocking here that was really quick and simple. Just alcoholic markers, nothing extra on that. I could go over the dots with metallics probably. And then this was the very, very first picture that I did with my markers. So it was Christmas Day. I was flipping through the whole book, and I wanted to decide what I wanted to color first. And because we had just gotten done opening all the presents, we were by the tree that morning. So I saw the tree and I was like, perfect, I'll do that. So it was my first attempt and go at the alcoholic markers, and I think it is pretty good. I like it. I'm not too upset with it at all for my first go. So it was funny because as I was working with it, I knew that you had to be pretty quick at laying it down so that you wouldn't get any lines on the page. And when I was in the middle of coloring this section of the tree, my fiance came over and he gave me a little kiss. And I was like, well, I guess I'll never forget that kiss whenever I look at this. I was like, I have to keep coloring. So I thought that was so cute and so funny. So so there's my tree, my very first go on Christmas Day. That was so fun. And my daughter has the same exact book. My oldest daughter, she's 9, and she has the same exact book. So we were coloring in this book together that day. So it's just nice memories to have when you're going through your stuff. And then the mistletoe. I know mistletoe's supposed to have white berries, isn't it? I'm not sure if there are different types of mistletoe or not, but from what I know from memory, I guess they're supposed to be white, but I didn't want my berries to be white, so I just made them red and I didn't care. But here I did some shading on the bow, and so I thought that was nice. And that was it. That's it from this book. So we'll see how I progress for next year. Then is the Johanna Basford's Magical Worlds book. This was the very first book that I got from an amazing illustrator. Nothing cute, bold, and easy about it. This was my very first adult coloring book, and I jumped right in. And from my introduction, I think I did mention that this end page was the very first thing that I colored. And I did it with my Crayola 36 count colored pencils. And I did add some of the metallics to it as well in the stars and on the thorns. And I'm not sure how well it picks up, but that was my very first page done in this book. I did the little mushroom over here too. So I did that guy. And then I went to the front of the book. And what was it that I did after that? I actually don't think it was this one. Was it? I think it was this one that I did next. I was like, oh, okay, I still have some time left in the night. I'll do another small one. And it's like, okay, 2.5 hours later, and you're finally done with the small little bits that you have. I'm very sorry about the shadows on the pages. I am working on it. Like I said, hopefully, I don't know if the ring light's going to help with that or not, but if not, I will figure something out. But for now, this is what we have. But yeah, this was my first attempt at any sort of winter scene, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. But I wish that I would have done it either the same on this side, or if I would have just done the same thing on either side. I don't know. For some reason, it's not my favorite, but it seemed to be everybody else's favorite. So I love that. But when I look at it, I just feel like I wish I could change it. But that's okay. It's still very nice. These trees up here have to be my favorite part about the page here, is these trees. It was so fun to do. And it was actually a happy mistake how this turned out, because I actually started over here on these trees, and I don't know, I don't really remember why I wanted to start with blue over here, because I knew I was making a green tree, but I started with blue. I don't know. I like mixing weird colors together that don't seem to make sense, but then end up making sense. So I was just like, yes, blue first, then green. I don't know. And when I did that, I was like, wow, that almost looks like a shadow or something, like on a snowy tree, because the rest of the tree was still white from not being colored. So I was like, wow, that looks really cool. And then I colored the rest of the trees green, and then I went over here to do it again. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to split the page in half and do one side winter, one side possibly autumn, I suppose, because the bushes are orange. So yeah, so that's how it was. A happy mistake that it ended up this way. So I did really enjoy doing that. And then I'm not used to limiting my palette so much too, because I only have, for the winter scene, there's only so much that you can do with it. So I decided to add that magenta pink to it, and then the yellow. And that was pretty much it for this side. And I don't normally stick to such a limited color palette. I'm a very colorful person. I like color everywhere. So that in itself was actually challenging for me, and then to even do the same thing on this side then. So these trees were the first thing I did on this side, but then I jumped to these trees next and did the rest of the page. So then I had to decide what I wanted to do for this side, and I just thought it wouldn't look right if it was too colorful because this side was so limited in color. So I tried my best in sticking with just a couple colors, and I guess I did good. And then I had to decide what to do for the castle, but that part was easy. That came easy. I really enjoyed coloring that. So yeah, and then that's when I finished this one. That's when I jumped to the front page. This was so fun to do. This has to be my favorite in the book so far, and it's the front page. So it's, I don't know. Like I said, I'm a colorful person, so all these different colors, I love the way everything just seemed to seamlessly jump right into one section into the other so nicely. Everything just works very well together. So I had a lot of fun with it. I'd probably say either this section up here is my favorite, or I don't know, I have a couple different spots. This over here was pretty fun for me to do. I remember as I was doing it, just having more fun than other sections. And then this little sand castle down here was fun. And this one. But I started up here at the top, and the tree was the first thing that I did on this one. And it didn't even really turn out the way that I wanted it to. I don't know why, but I just thought Winnie the Pooh, and I knew that Winnie the Pooh had like purpley blue trees sometimes throughout the shows or the books. So I attempted a Winnie the Pooh tree, and at the bottom it was supposed to be like a lighter purple, and then at the top I did add darker purple and darker blues even. But it just all looks the same color, so I was kind of disappointed how that came out. But seeing it with the rest of the page, I really enjoy it, so I'm not too bummed about it. But yeah, so I love this page, and I love how it's the first thing you see when you open up the book. It's just so colorful and happy. That's and on the words, because everything else was so colorful, I knew I had to decide one color for the words, or else it would be too hectic probably. So I went with the green. But yeah, so this one is my favorite that I've done in December right here. And then I did the butterflies. This was when I got my Prismacolors in. So this was all done with my Crayola 36 count colored pencils. So that's all Crayola. And then I did these butterflies, or moths. She does call them moths. I call them butterflies, but they're her moths. But I did them in the Prismacolor, and the middle one here was the first one that I did, and I had a lot of fun with it. I was so shocked how easy these colors blended together, and it just made the experience a lot more enjoyable because there was so much work that I had to do with the Crayolas to get them to work the way that I wanted to. And with the Prismacolors, it was like butter. It laid down so smoothly in her books. And then this little guy down here was the second one that I did. I'm sorry if the lighting isn't too good. That looks nice. But yeah. So he was the second one that I did. Again, trying my best to limit my color palette on these. And as I go to the green one, I see like 5 colors already. It's a little moth. Come on. Limit your colors. I don't know. I love colors. And then I chose my metallic markers to put on the stars. And normally I would have just gone with the traditional gold or silver star, but I chose the brighter colors to match with the moths on the page. So I really enjoyed doing those, and I liked the way that they turned out. So I don't think I'm going to do any sort of background on the front page, this page, for this page. I just like them the way that they are. And then we'll get into backgrounds a little bit later. Haven't finished that yet. Here are just a couple of the smaller things that I've done. Not a full page, but just the smaller images. I did throw up the quiet coloring for the one here. I did record this one, so that one's going to be coming out too. I do want to add the color pencils that I used for each step. Somebody did mention that as well, to list the color pencil either name or number that's associated with it. So I do want to do that so that you can see what I'm working with if you wanted to do it the same way. I just have to work on my video making skills. I don't edit these at all. So from start to finish, it's so raw. This is me. This is what you get. I'm doing no kind of editing or anything. I just post the video. So it's something that I need to work on for sure. And there are many different things that I do want to add to the videos. It's mainly just a one step at a time for me right now, with me just getting started. I love the front cover of this book, but this is just to show off the front of the Circle of the Life. I did try my best to finish the bubbles. I did put in my introduction that I just had the bubbles to finish off, but what I noticed, or what I think I figured out possibly, was I used a Uniball. I think it's downstairs, but I have this other one here. I used the Uniball, let me see, Signo Broad white gel pens. This is the silver, and it comes in a pack of 3. The other one is the, what is this, bronze. So I have that one, or is it gold? I'm not sure. This one, the silver, and the white. And I was very excited to get them to white out certain things or add white to my pages. Adding white to the pages with the gel pen was fine, but covering up certain spots with it to color over was not. So as soon as I went to color over what the bubbles that I whited out, so I put the gel pen over all the bubbles on the page to make them lighter, because the way that they were drawn, it was kind of like this, where there was so much extra inside of the bubble as far as ink going. So I wanted to white it out to make it more of a color instead of lines. And when I went to color over the gel pen, it just scraped right off. So some of the bubbles, they look a little rough. So there's my learning. There's my learning. I think what everyone else uses is the white Posca pen, if I'm saying that right. White Posca. And they color over that, and they're able to do that fine. Oh, look at how nice this looks close up. I do absolutely enjoy all the colors that I chose for this page. I had a lot of fun with this, but I was also nervous at the same time. But it ended up working out really nice. I do thoroughly enjoy the way that this turned out. The only reason why part of me wasn't so nervous, oh look, I flipped right to it, was because you get another go at it. So I get to color it once again in the book. It's a larger scale. Yeah, it's a larger scale, and it doesn't have the words on it, so that'll be nice. So you get a nice circle. And so I was like, okay, if I mess this one up, oh, well, there you go. There's what the bubbles look like. I was like, okay, so if I mess up, I get another go at it. But then I was still nervous because it's the first thing you see when you open up the page. So I'm happy with it. So this is this is what's the fun and exciting part about joining me is learning with me. I'm decent enough, but I still have a lot to go, and I love to try to document what my progress will be with my my video making skills and my coloring skills. So that's it for this month. Everything that I have done. For some reason, I feel like I'm missing something, but I guess I know I'm not, because the colored pencil works in just these two did take a significant amount of time. So I'm hoping to get a little bit more done for this month of January. I don't have any crazy year plan at all so far, since I'm just starting out. So I'm mainly just sticking to a month for now. 2025 is probably going to change so much for me in this channel, for in a good way, I hope. So I'm not going to do any sort of long-term goals. I don't have 1,000 coloring books. I don't need to mention how many are not colored in, because most of mine are now. So I don't have the same types of goals that other channels might have, but at least for the month here, I do have one buddy color for the month of January, and I'm really excited about that. So my goal is to get that done. I do have the Johanna Basford planner, so my goal is to get every page done that corresponds with the week that you're in. So I do have that as a goal, and then I do have goals to do several of the color along with me's. It's finding a quiet time of the day to do those. That's gonna be the hard part. But I do want to at least have at least one page that I color with you guys. So I'll sit here, I'll talk as I'm coloring, and show you guys the techniques that I'm doing, show you guys the pencils that I'm using, and just have a good time with that. And that'll probably span over the course of a couple videos, because I don't think I'd be able, especially with my video making skills or lack of, I wouldn't be able to morph the videos together, I don't think, unless I will figure it out, but just not right now. So you get my raw videos right now, no editing. This is what you get, and it's okay. We're having a good time, right? I hope that this comes out okay. I hope I'm talking louder, because I did get a couple tips that I wasn't talking loud enough in my other videos. If you have not done anything like this before, you wouldn't believe how awkward it feels talking to yourself with the rest of your family outside the door possibly hearing you. So that's a thing, and I just need to get over it, because your experience is more important than me feeling awkward right now. But that's okay. We'll get over that in due time. So yeah, so those were my colorings for this, last month. Oh my gosh, because today is January 1st, and I'm hoping to either just post this video today or tomorrow. Today is January 1st. Happy New Year, everyone. I did want to say that too. I hope you guys all had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So just like that, we're in 2025. And we'll see what we can do from here. I do have several videos that are ready to go out, but I wanted to get this one in first and send it. So, like I said, I did a color along already, I did a quiet coloring on the flamingo here. So that video will be posted soon enough. And I did get a couple more books in. Look at this really quick, because I'm so excited about this. So I did get the R.J. Hampson's Fantasy Tiny Homes. I already recorded a flip through of this book, so that will be coming out eventually. And then I did get Rita Berman book. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. I love this book so much. It's so nice. It's small and the artwork is stunning. Anytime I see somebody do a Rita Berman page, it looks amazing. So I'm very excited to have this one. Johanna Basford and Rita Berman have to be the two illustrators that I want. I want all their books. They're just stunning. So I just want to show those off. I do have a couple more books coming in. Like I said, I am just trying to get one book from all the main illustrators. So slowly but surely they are coming in. I can't go too crazy because I know I already have. But yeah, so we'll slowly see what I get in, what I accomplish. I was very excited to be showing off my pages, even though I know I don't have a lot, but I'm still really excited about this. So those were my pages for the month of December 2024. Now we're in January of 2025, and I'm excited to get out to you guys what I can. So with all that being said, thank you so much for stopping by. Give my videos a like if they're good. And if you have any helpful tips at all, please let me know. Anything that I can change or polish up on. Anything is very helpful for me right now. Again, like I said, if you want to do a buddy color out of any of the books that you've seen that I have, reach out to me. I'd love to do more of those buddy colors. And I think that's all I wanted to mention. There's always time for another video. So with that, I hope you guys have a great and colorful day. Bye.